It gives me immense pleasure to present the 191st weekly webinar of AABN. This webinar series by AABN is indeed an eclectic one, bringing together small business owners, lenders, technical assistant providers, government officials, and members of the academic community to explore the challenges faced by today's entrepreneurs and to identify promising approaches to addressing their needs. Events such as this one is particularly valuable because they allow us to draw on a broad range of experiences and evidence. We are keenly interested in hearing your insights and look forward to sharing results from AABN's continued small business outreach. We have got an awesome speaker with fresh perspectives on mental resilience for working professionals to address us. Let me extend a very warm welcome to our eminent guest speaker, Rachna Mimani, to this interactive business networking session. We are now moving forward with optimism and an enhanced vision to create extraordinary value for entrepreneurs through enduring experiences for our guests, partners, and alumni, supported by our values of integrity, agility, efficiency, collaboration, sustainable development, and respect for entrepreneur community. On behalf of my colleagues on the core committee, I extend my sincere gratitude for the continued support of all the stakeholders. Our immediate priority is for the disparate group of people to work in sync to overcome challenges and draw new pathways for the future of this wonderful business community. It's critical that the work we do, besides benefiting the group, also finds resonance in the larger business community outside. We hope to see the participation of many more entrepreneur community, particularly more youngsters who might be able to add a fresh dimension to our goals. This is a forum where fresh interfaces lead to new hopes for the future. Mental resilience refers to the ability to bounce back from adversity, adapt to change, and persevere in the face of challenges. It's not about being immune to stress or avoiding difficulties. Instead, it's about how effectively you can recover and continue to thrive despite setbacks. In the workplace, mental resilience allows individuals to navigate through high-pressure situations, handle unexpected hurdles, and maintain their overall well-being. It enables them to stay focused, motivated, and productive even in the most demanding circumstances. With life becoming so fast-paced, hectic, and stressful, it is necessary to focus on our mental well-being so that we can live a happier, healthier, and more fulfilling personal and professional life with all, with all the while juggling our responsibilities. In times of stress, resilience is key. But what exactly does it mean to have mental resilience? Rachna Mimani will dwell deeper into the importance of this trait and explore its key components in this interactive business networking session. I have the pleasant duty of introducing and welcoming Rachna Mimani, our eminent guest speaker today. Rachna, a trailblazer in self-mastery and transformation and founder CEO of peacetogether.com. Rachna's commitment to empowering individuals for emotional well-being has earned her the Outstanding Leadership Award at the World Health 2.0 Conference, Dubai. As CEO of Peace Together, Rachna pioneers generative AI in psychology, revolutionizing emotional and mental well-being. Rachna's journey from household nurturer to a successful entrepreneur reflects her dedication to empowerment. Honored for mental health contribution, she is a true leader in the field. As a professional certified coach recognized by the International Coach Federation ICF, Rachna seamlessly merges coaching, psychology, and NLP, making her a sought-after authority on unlocking human potential. Dedication, expertise, and cutting-edge technology use position Rachna as a pioneer in self-mastery and transformation. With a personality like Rachna, you can go on and on eulogizing, but let me stop here and let the audience have the privilege of listening to Rachna. Thank you, and over to you, Rachna.
Thank you, Mr. Gopi. And a very, very warm welcome to all of you all to this webinar on a Sunday morning. And with 30 of you present here, all I can say is it's the dedication to learning, it's dedication to coming up to something new. And probably you all know everything that you might be hearing. It is just that, reliving it and, finding a fresher perspective or taking back something from today would be basically that we all have been doing something called as mental resilience in our every way of life. So here all, before I actually take a, dive into this entire conversation of mental resilience, I would want to see how many of you are active on the chat bot, on the chat space, right? And here is one little question for all of you all. And the question is, What is that one habit or a ritual that you all do when you are feeling stressed or overwhelmed? It could be anything, you know. What do you do at the time of stress or when you think you are very, very overwhelmed? So let me know that on the chat box so that we can proceed further in the session. Drink water. Wow. Listening to music. Okay. Taking a walk. Yeah. Being silent, listening to music. Okay. Wow. Beautiful. So that means some of you are still active, some of you are thinking. Pull out and force something different. Yes. Engage into something different. Okay. So good enough responses. Play a game. Wow. That's interesting. Play a game. Completely distraction. Let out your energy. Yes. Chanting Jai Ma Kali. Okay. Okay. All right. So this is what, mental resilience is all about. It's about understanding when to be silent. It is about understanding when to learn. It is also about understanding how to come back. And mental resilience is all about being your superpower in the way of life. So I will just share my screen once for you all. I should share the entire screen. Just let me know if you're able to see my screen.
Yes.
All right. So, mental resilience is basically the ability, like Mr. Gopi said in the beginning, is the ability to adapt to challenges, bounce back from setbacks, and remain focused and effective even under pressure. It enables us to move forward, face stress and uncertainty or failures in our life. You know, we are in this very fast-paced world around us, which is constantly changing. It is constantly evolving. And how do we take these mental pressures every time? The people who are specifically are in the workforce are facing professional pressures. They face pressures in their work life. They face pressures in this demanding change of. Are you all able to see my screen? I just wanted to know.
Yes, 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 we are able to.
Yeah. Okay. So they're burnout, they are all overwhelmed, and they are fighting to adapt to certain changes at certain point of time because sometimes they don't know what the change is and sometimes they don't know how to adapt to these changes, so they're struggling to fight and put every day this technology their life and embrace the change with the newer generation coming in, because the generation before us in the 90s phase were different. Generation who are in mid 20s, 2000s are very different, and generation in 2024 are different. So here is another question. How many of you are living with three to four generations in your houses? I somehow can't see the chat. Go back to this. Just a second. Three generations? Yes. So can I talk? Can you all tell me about the regular struggle that you face, whether in your workspace also? I think in workspace also some of you are working with three generations. Three generations? No. Any more people there? Yes. All right. All right. So there is an ever evolving need for change. And now there is something called as sustained growth, that we have to keep sustaining our growth, whatever it is coming. And it is also in terms of sustainability. It means about incorporating the environmental factors and also incorporating the new ways of sustaining your roles. Today, for that one position, there are many people fighting for it. So, how do you sustain your growth at that one particular position? So, today, if you succeed, that doesn't mean that you're going to be there forever. You have to continuously evolve with your own sense of inner space. So, have you all ever thought, players like Sachin Tendulkar, Virat Kohli, you know, or these, the CEOs like Satya Nalanda, what keeps them going? Do they not face pressure? What keeps them going every day? Um, Spare me for my cough a little. What keeps them going? Dedication, yes. Passion, yes. Yes. Passion. Purpose, yes. Determination, okay?
Will to
Exactly.
win.
Sorry,
Will.
will to win, yes. The willingness to win, mental stability, consistency, dedication gives you more stress. We'll come back to that. Improvement, yes. Hmm. So I think that's fair enough answers. All of these people did one thing, was they were not scared of failures. And failing is the first biggest step of mental resilience. Accepting to fail is important. Even in place like NASA or army, where failure is not an option, they teach you to fail. They build your endurance bit by bit. And every time you fail, you build your endurance. So, to build resilience, it's important to also fail. And how many of you all agree to that? Agree.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So this is going to be a little more interactive sessions. I might be asking you to use a chat box very, very often so that I can actually see what's been happening. Yes, is also very necessary, but we need to have the zealness of failing also at certain point of time, because it is that one last push up that you could not make in your final set of workout, or that one sweet you could not say no to, tells you about your limit of being not able to explore, or tells you also about that there is a limit that you can explore. And that's where you need to build your resilience for. So any bodybuilder who's been here, they become resilient and not many point of times, because they have to go hours without drinking water also. They have to build a body which is resilient to lot many things as well, even whether it's a sports person, whether it is uh, even a normal working professional. They have to juggle a different sense of roles in their lives. A man has to move out, work as a leader, work as a, sometimes as if the person is an entrepreneur and there is a smaller organization, the person is working from being the peon to the business head in that one extensive role. It's a woman taking in multiple battles and multiple roles in her life, the mother, the worker, the wife, everything. And so is the man. So here is all I must say. kudos to each one of you and appreciate yourself for being who you are today. So, coming to my next thing, and the biggest first takeaway that I had said was to lead with authenticity, right? As why do you need authenticity to build mental resilience? Can anybody tell me that? Why would you need authenticity to build? All right. So basically, when more acceptance will come in, okay? In fact, I will change this question a little more. What do you all mean when I say authentic? What do you all mean when I say authentic? True. Okay. Nothing added. Certainly. Genuine. Yes. Great. So, exactly. Trust. So, exactly in all that words, it means that you are who you are. You align yourself with the core values of who you are and connect with that same values to the others as well. And leaders are such persons. All you working professionals are leaders of your own organization, of your own teams, and of your own houses. And you are that person who has to attach themselves to these core values of them, their original thinking, simplicity, certainty, trust, and all of that. And why do leaders need to do this? Because the more authentic and simple you become, the safer you become for the other. And here is a statement: the more authentic and simple you become safer for the others. How many of you all agree to that? And when I say you mean become safe, it becomes you become a person who people can go up to and tell their worries and be that best idea for that person. If you are that simple and calm, you can have anybody come up to and speak to you and tell you that I am going through this. And a leader is a true person who believes in trusting and collaboration, right? Leader leads with transparency, authenticity, and the resilience the person builds in. Because authenticity and this resilience goes hand in hand, right? Okay, so I will let you all try a small exercise. Take it. Think about three core values of yourself in the role that you play and write them down by your own self. If you want, you can share this. And here is a little challenge. I will stop you from using words like honesty, trustworthy, and genuine. These are the three values you will not use. Beyond this, what are the other values that you value for yourself? And I'll give you all reasons why as well. Com- Compassion, did you mean Mr. Gopi? Okay. Loyalty. Okay. I am not able to hear the person if somebody is trying to talk. Honesty, straight talk. Yeah, honesty is something that you cannot use. Empathy, respecting others' opinion. Okay. Friendly and helpful. Okay. Walk the talk, collaborate, integrity. Wow. Gratitude and understandable. Wow. All right. So here is my another question to all of you all. Now, when you were in past this week, whenever you faced a challenge or you made a decision, how much of it came from these three values that you pointed out for your own self? how much these values came in for you all? At least one, all right? At least one. Yes, by understanding was able to take a right decision. Yes. Most. Wow. So, wow, very nice. Very nice. So, this is very important for any leaders to build mental resilience is to have their value check-ins. Our mental resilience forms a pillar with our own values because our values are like those centrifugal force which helps you to diverge and act in different roles and different spaces. Yes. To support, lead, and listen. Yes, Mr. KB, this is absolutely nice. Right. So here is the first thing that you will learn today is to have a value check-in whenever you face anything, any stress, any problem, you can always go back to your values grid and see what you value more in that space. And as a leader, be authentic at that point of time, trust, collaborate, and see if these are working and aligning with your own systems. Because as a leader, you are your authentic self. All right. So any questions up till now? And otherwise, I'll move ahead.
Yeah, you can move ahead, Rachna.
All right, cool. So next comes is the scale up. Now, as leaders, it's also important that we know how do we evolve or how do we scale our own businesses or our own practice. And I think this is something which is very early on came up to me was when I had just started out very new as a counselor and I started working and interacting with people and I wanted to grow my practice. So, as a counselor, when it's a personal skill, there are only two ways to increase. Either you start working double shift or you start with increasing your price. So for me at that point of time, I didn't have time to basically increase the number of hours, which was practically not possible. And but what I had an option was to increase the price. Now, if I wanted to increase the price, I always felt that I'm not worth it. Was it right for me to feel at that time? I could be, or I could not. But somewhere down the line, I pushed in myself because I knew the kind of hard work I was putting in for every client that came into me. And I went down to my own set of core values because what was important to me was my growth. So I tested all of it. And I tested within the waters where I said, okay, fine. I've been charging 1,000, 1,500. I'll be increasing my price by another 500 rupees. We'll be charging 2,000 rupees to you. And so some people were happy with it, some people were not happy with it. Some left, I got new ones. So there are times when you start believing yourself in your true value, you will start increasing. And why do I keep going back to values? These core values form a huge pillar for any resilience to form inside us, right? It is our faith, our belief, our, the neural structures, you can say, that helps us to be who we are in our authentic self. The more you be that one person, of that core assignment, you will be easily able to build your foundation, which is strong, and build the structure on top of it. All right. So, whenever there is growth, there is also going to be a fresh set of challenge. And there is also going to be opportunities. There is also going to be a time where you can take a shorter route and you can take a longer route, which could be difficult. So here is another, exercise for you all. Would you compromise growth if you were required to do something which is out of your value system? So it's like, imagine you're expanding your business, have a great growth opportunity, or you're getting a client. However, the potential partner does not fully aligns with you, right? Would you proceed with that deal? Would you proceed or negotiate those terms? What would you all do in that situation? No. Okay. Negotiate the terms. Yes. No. Great. So here is something that I would actually share from my personal space this time. So I had a property that I wanted to lend out for rent. And there was this man, I had given it to a property vendor, and I had asked him to put it on rent. And he was been working in the entire summer in the heat. Every day he used to get 2 clients, 3 clients, 4 clients, show the flat, talk, negotiate with them, and be there. Out of which one of the clients came to me directly and approached. And ma'am, I've been very interested with your house and I would want to take it. And I don't want to have the middleman in between. So I was very happy. The person had come in and wanted my house. And anyways, my property was lying vacant for 4 months. And I wanted to give it on rent because I was losing, the value of return money on that. And they said, we want to take it. And I had agreed. Somewhere the person came and told me, मैं आपसे ले तो so if you all understand Hindi, otherwise I'll convert it into English, is I do understand that if I take my things directly from you on rent, I will not have to pay the money to the middleman. But at that one single point of time when she mentioned this to me, the only thing that stuck to me was the person was running day and night for me, and I would be keeping his due full earned money to me. Was I at the first go I agreed. But when went ahead and I reflected, I said it is wrong. I should not keep this money. I called that person up and I told him, see, your party has come to me directly and I would not want to hide it from you. But I don't know whether they pay you or not, but I am ready to pay you even if they've come directly to me. So did I do the right thing by calling him up and saying, it's an expensive entire 1 month's rent, but I had seen that man running in this heated summer, pillars to poles, just getting clients every day. Yes.
Yes.
And what came to me? It was my ethics. Yes, my ethics, my true value of who I am. And I wanted to move ahead in that same direction. So, as leaders, you are the people who will take your team ahead. So, if you have those strong value system, you will see that there will be opportunities, there will be times when the growth will come to you at the cost of your own value. The resilience comes in then that you say no. And as a leader, it is also important to understand how you shape the future of your company. All right. So remember, values are your compass to your own future. Moving to the next part, and that is building and bouncing back. We have been all, talking about it for so long, and uh, we need to build this mental resilience for every time to navigate this challenge. But how do we do it? Right? So, how do we navigate this challenge through it? Right? Some of us tell us that you need to have mindfulness, be present. You'll see clarity and you will see calm. And I will tell you, I tried doing it. You need to have a positive talk to yourself, have a growth mindset. But what happens when you are in time of need? That doesn't happen. The first thing that comes into mind is the negative thoughts of what's going to not happen. It's very difficult to pause that self-talk, which is a growth mindset. It only comes after training. It comes after perseverance. It comes after grinding in that heat and becoming the gold who you are. It's not. Then comes the third point is setting boundaries, understanding what is right and what is wrong. So here's another story. There was this guy who's been trying to chase me every now and then on LinkedIn and saying that we have this marketing gimmick and that marketing opportunity, and this can do this for you. And, you should schedule a call with me. I said, fine. And they've been trying to schedule a call every now and then. So I finally, one day, I gave in and I said, okay, let me schedule a call. And the moment I went ahead and clicked on their Calendly link, what I see was the timing was 8:30 a.m. to uh, somewhere in like 9 a.m. or something like that, or it was after 7:30 a.m. And and what I immediately did was to close that Calendly link down, and I went back to the chat and I says, "Are you working abroad on a abroad time scale?" And he says, "No. You should have read my profile. I'm from Delhi." I said, but your Calendly schedule shows timings which are either above before 9 or after 7:30 p.m. And he says, what time would you like? And I said, I work between 10 to 6 and I would want to schedule a call during that time only. He came back to me saying that I don't take calls, I work during that time. I simply went ahead and said, I am the mother and the wife and a daughter at that times. I think I would choose not to be an entrepreneur during that time. How do you think about that? What did I do in that? What did I do during that time? I, yes, balance, yes. I set my boundaries right. Sometimes it's also about setting your work boundaries, setting your, boundaries for people. Yes, absolutely. So as a leaders, it is okay to be available to every person in your group, but you also know that you are a person, you're a human, and you need time for yourself. And sometimes learning to say no is also very important. So these boundaries helps you, protects you, and helps you to become a better person, right? So here is one guided reflection for you all. I would want all of you all to close your eyes comfortably and sit. Take a deep breath in. Now, think of a recent challenge at work or at home that you faced. Notice any tension in your body because of that challenge. Acknowledge it. Take a deep breath in. See the challenge and exhale. And with each breath now that you're taking in, experience that same tension that was there in the place. and exhale. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Now, this past moment that you were taking care of that challenge, how did it help you to grow or understand that problem very well? Take a moment, reflect on it. When you're ready, let me know in the chat box. You can share. Let me know if you all are ready. Okay. Would you all like to share now? How did this change for you? Make judgments on situations. Okay. Face it as another problem to solve. Okay. All right. Move on and face it. Yes. Yes. With every exercise that we do today, you're somewhere or the other is building a little bit of resilience toward your own problem and towards, seeking clarity of your own self, of your own actions, and of your own value. But, not many times we've had people tell that mindfulness, you need to practice positive talk and boundaries. Yes, these are helpful. But for me, these were like an endless loop of cycles not happening. So, even in order to, you know, develop these mindfulness or positive self talk or boundaries, I needed few steps. And the first and the very important step that I did was to have start small. How many of you think that starting small is better than starting nowhere? Because today, if you'll take that one step, will change. Books like Atomic Habits, books like 80/20, books like, 1% change every day, they tell that starting small is always good. So if you want to make any change, start with that one little habit. So if you want to get up and go out to work out tomorrow, all you need to do is to be able to wake up and just be there and not buy any gadgets or sportswear anything. So it's the first step that I needed to take. The second thing that I did was to make self care non-negotiable. When I make self-care non-negotiable. When I mean self-care, I don't mean taking my regular bath or going for my regular parlor activities or putting on a pretty dress. It simply meant sitting with myself, reflecting, and also taking care of my body and my soul and my mind, and having it to come up to a level which can endure anything. Self care is also about understanding who you are at that any given point of time. It is being present with your own self, listening to your heart, listening to your mind, and listening to your body. And that's how you start developing positive talk or growth mindset. And it starts with that one simple step of just listening to your own self. And anything that you want to do must have an accountability to see that you're able to move ahead, to see that you're able to be reach the path that you wanted to. So I created little accountability space for myself and also added a little bit of reward for myself. So if I wanted to work out 5 days in a week, I would do 5 days in a week. Then only I would get to sleep a little extra on a Saturday morning. Or I would reward myself with a spa. Or I could eat that one little chocolate that I wanted to eat. If I did 10 exercises that I was supposed to do, I would definitely reward myself with something. And I had those, accountability partners as my parents or as my kid or as my, I had those checklist items which were becoming my accountability partners that I would do. So, and important for all of this was that I imbibed in perfections. I was failing, I was struggling, and I was sometimes giving up as well. But I accepted it because it's all a part of me and not somebody else. So, to build resilience, I needed to start small. I needed to make self care non negotiable, and I had to find an accountability partner and imbibe my imperfections. All right. So, I invite all of you all today because to share in this little vulnerable space that what made you resilient in your life journey. Use the chat box, please. Wow. Is anybody there to achieve my desire? Yes, Advanji, whatever you did was to achieve your desires, but how? What made you become more resilient in life? For me, I think my entire role from changing from being a housewife to career women made me more resilient towards what I wanted. And I think becoming a mother was one of the biggest life changing event in my life. Uh, yes, maintain more positive outlook, but I'm looking at an incident. For me, being a mother was one of the most enduring and a resilient building activity for me. So, what was in yours? Becoming into my team. All right. Mm-hmm. All right. So, with this, we come to the end of my talk. What we covered was lead true and stay strong, scale up and stay true, build, bounce, and thrive every time that you move ahead. Keep the positive contribution, okay? Situations, yes. So, guys, I would want a little more accountability here is out of all the four activities that I mentioned, which one would you pick? Try one resilience strategy this week. Which one would you pick? From starting a small talk to scale up and stay true. Wow. Scale up and stay true. All right. So this is a little scan that you all can do, BBT. Okay, that's nice. So here is a little surprise for all of you all. If you all scan this and fill a little feedback form for me, if you fill a little feedback, not afraid of failures. Wow, Mayuri, thank you so much. If a, if you all fill a feedback form for me, you all get a 30-minute sessions free with me, and it is valid from today till 9th. So if I receive your emails and your feedbacks, I will be able to go ahead. Case is open for your Q&As, guys. If you all want to actually ask any questions, I'm here. Thank you, Arvindji.
Thank you very much, Rachna, for the wonderful session. We'll keep the
Thank
floor.
you.
Yeah. We'll keep the floor open for question and answers.
Yes.
Participants, you may please unmute and ask your questions, please.
Basically, when it comes to mental relations, I would just like to understand when there is a failures, okay, happens.
Hmm.
Um, there is more of emotions attached to it
Of
because
course.
the logical thinking, the emotions supersede the logical thoughts. So, how do we control that so that we are able to be more, I mean, take it in the right spirit and move forward?
So, think of that Olympic champion who's been, practicing for a year and still goes out and loses and is not able to come up to that, mark of that first 3%. And the emotions are involved is huge. The practice sessions involved are huge. And what do these people do at that point of time? It's good to be involved in the process of becoming who you are and accepting the failure. It only means that to reach that gold level, you needed that little extra. You still need, and there is a scope of improvement. So, till you fail, you will learn. The day you succeed, you will stop to learn because you will see that this is the formula and I must keep repeating it because that is what it is told. And failure helps you to improve every day and day. So the emotions that comes with it is, I do not say that don't experience it. I say experience it. Take a pause, take a break, experience what you're experience. The, hopelessness, the feeling of loss, the anger, the, frustration that comes with it. Experience everything. But pause, take a break, reflect, and come back. And that's where you build your resilience and come back with a better and a newer strategies. As business owner, I think I've failed quite a point of times. And every time I fail, I need to know that I have got an option to saying that this is not the right way. And I might not have succeeded in doing what where I was. Like Edison, he found out 999 ways to not create a bulb, but created one at the 1,000th time. So this is what it is, that you will fail and you will improve, but every failure will give you something new to learn. So that's my answer for it, Arvindji.
Yeah, thank you. But one thing is for the younger generations, when I see that the fear of failure, which
Yes.
makes them not to take any risk
Mm-hmm.
in their careers, because yeah,
Mm-hmm.
risk is a segment which always keeps us. The fear of taking risk always keeps us not to succeed. So I'm just trying to see how do we imbibe this mental resilience to the younger generations, where they are in a position to take that risk and get out of this fear of failure.
Absolutely. I think this generation is very, very protected in terms of their journey in ahead in their education life. I think I still remember we were not told that you will not be, failing in class one, two, or five. But these generation students, the education system has become so empathetic towards them that they want everybody should come out as winners. And it's only in the normal life when we come across they come across that we are not winners in every situation. And somewhere it's a hard fact and hard truth that we have to learn that you cannot win unless somebody else loses, and this does not goes well with the younger generation. So having that, I think the focus on they becoming better themselves and understanding that failure is important is what is very, giving them that work environment or creating that opportunities where you can fail, where you can falter, राइट? कैसे हम छोटे बच्चे को एक छोटा-सा गरम चीज़ लगाते हैं, we touch that little hot spot to him and explain that it is the heat. So until unless if a person doesn't experience the failure, they will not know what it is going to imbibe to them. It's the same way we teach the child that if you are uh, uh, something hot is going to burn you, this is what it is. So is for the the younger generation, we have to give them the taste of failure to let them understand what the success will and a bigger success would look like. For me, it is encouraging them to fail is very important now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I have a question?
Yes,
Yeah.
I will
Yeah.
just stop the share once so that I can actually see you all.
It's a very nice session. A lot of takeaway, Rachna. My question
Thank
to
you.
you is like, how do you counter unhelpful thinking? See, except journaling or writing down, like I just want to know any other strategies that we have to
Mm-hmm.
counter these unhelpful thinking. See, because you cannot stop thinking. I know that, but it's very difficult unless otherwise you practice or you do the journaling. When I don't have that kind of an habit, like how can I have any other strategies for that? Thank you.
All right. So it's the second activity that I did with you all when I had asked you all to, just close your eyes and reflect on what you are doing and what is happening with you. And that's the time when you sit and reflect. And the very simple thing is, when I don't have a journal, I don't have a pen and paper, I don't have anything to vomit as to what is happening with me. And there are a lot of thinkings that is just not working for me. I would sit in that state, empty my mind one by one of the thinking and of those images which is coming to me. Give yourself, pause yourself and give yourself that time to see what's been happening, and slowly offload each and every thought that is coming to you. And, simply say, is it helpful? Not helpful. Not helpful, discard. Not helpful, discard. Helpful, keep. Not helpful, discard. So simply that it's called discarding ability of your own thoughts at that one point of time that you can do. So this works for me. I don't know if this works for you and helps you also. It is just sitting in that status quo of yourself and letting your mind process all the thoughts, feelings, and everything that's coming to you and start discarding the ones which is not helpful for you. So this is one trick that helps me. I hope it helps you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm,
yes, sir. Go on, sir.
yeah, I'm Rabindranath. Yeah, hi.
Yes.
Hi. Rachna ji, I think I missed out most part of it, but then whatever slides I've seen, and definitely very meaningful and very thoughtful messages, which are very practical as well. I have no questions, but I would like to endorse some of the things, what you said, a couple of points. One is on the first one, the value system. I think that's an excellent thought process. People think values are something which is a very difficult and abstract, and we make many things like integration, integrity, and and so on, many dimensions. But then when it comes down to the practical applications, I think it's going to be a pretty difficult task. So one puts a vision statement, but they don't really look at the statement for years together. So it won't work. The organization which I worked, and then I'm just retired, of course, now, is something which is really built on value system, done by a Danish engineers coming into India, and then they've taken everything in India out here. But then the value system they have done, and then subsequent leadership which is taken up, because the leadership actually shows that value system and don't compromise. I think then whatever you said would be absolutely would happen. For example, the ecosystem which you have may draw you into the make you sort of compromise on your value system, especially business oriented people and so on. We were highly business oriented, but then we drawn into that, but we have resisted that and then grown to a level which people cannot believe today. I mean, a 250 crore company becoming a $22 billion kind of organization just by using value system. So I would say all the entrepreneurs and business people who are there in this group, I think to follow that, whatever you said as one of the top thing. Number two is actually the challenges part, what you said. And it's a one thing which personally we face also. One is officially you face a lot of challenges. Obviously, you don't have that kind of emotional attachment, but you are a part of the organization for several years. There's an emotional element there as well. But personally, when you have a very serious sort of setbacks, including something like life and death situations you'll have in the family, and that is where I think we all crumple, and then our total normal thinking process also gets completely shadowed. So that's where I think what you said, those words can be taken and practiced. A lot of mindfulness and positive thought. Get over your emotions in a short period. Obviously, if you have to cry or do whatever it is, but come out of that very quickly. And then to come out, many people can use many events like spiritual things or any other mode of sort of coming out of that. But afterwards, your mind is clear. I can give my personal experience. I've sorted 3 to 4 very high challenging personal issues. Just have a clarity of mind and saying that what next? How do I get out of this? A determination, a devotion, look for alternatives, go resilience, and also don't sort of take it for granted that this is the end of the sort of story and nothing would happen further. This would help. So some of the points which you said like headlines, but they have carry a lot of meaning provided people sort of uh, personalize that and then practice that. Thank you, and then compliments to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Anything else? Anybody else?
Anybody else has a question?
Yeah, I have left the link in the chat box where you can actually take in a 30-minute session with me as a surprise part of this webinar. And we can always move ahead in this direction and talk more. All right.
One question in the chat box.
Mm-hmm.
In life, we see the need to enhance the interdependence to get together. Is there any way to continually widen the interdependence, especially in official life?
Uh, just a minute. I want to see that question again.
The post.
I somehow can't see it. I think it's sent to you in a private space, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
In
All right.
life,
Uh-huh.
we see the need to enhance the interdependence to get together. Is there any way to continually widen the interdependence, especially in official life?
So here is one thing. Humans are social animals. The need for being interdependent is never going to, get away with it. No matter how hard you try, you need people around you, whether to get you your daily work done, whether to take you from one space to another space. You are dependent on something or the other. I think the entire beauty of being a human is that we can actually connect with each other, communicate and talk, and we are that one people who can choose to stay intellectually and knowledgeably connected. The biggest way to be able to use this as a superpower is to become intra-dependent, so that you are dependent on yourself for maximum amount of things, but at the same point of time use this as a superpower to connect with people, to be able to stay in this ecology. Because if you don't become dependent, I think our body is dependent for everything. For oxygen, it is dependent on air. For food, it is dependent on the vegetables and fruits and everything. And it is also dependent on the people who's going to come and give us the food and cook the food for us. So we cannot reduce that interdependence. You cannot take a business from zero to 10,000 millions just by being that one single person. Everyone and each one of us plays that gear which is intertwined together to create that business ecology. So I am sorry to say that interdependence is important, and it is very important to build the resilience as well. So it's not about can avoiding, it's about understanding how to be that dependent on the person, right? So, how dependent you want to be on the other person, it's a choice that you need to make. And as a leader, you need to understand that being dependable, so it is basically that as a leader, you are a person who people depend on. And at the same point of time, you are that one person who is dependent on many to do the task for you. And how do you create that accountability and responsibility in each of the parties in that space? So that's my little answer to you. I don't know from whom did this come, but that's my take on that.
Mr. Murthy, the former president of Reliance.
Right. I hope this helps, Mr. Murthy. And that's my take on that.
Yes, sir. Go on, sir. Go on, sir. Please go on.
Thanks for the wonderful presentation. This personal transformation is you put it in, very simple and effective language.
Thank you.
Thanks for your presentation. I want to focus something on the students level, particularly, government students, plus two polytechnic, that type of level. How do we implement? I'm trying to inculcate this, start small, small habits and, the early morning get up and, do some small things in the morning. That type of things I'm trying. I am meeting a lot of, students and trying to coach them, empower them. Okay.
Mhm.
I see some, the socioeconomic factor is playing a role, the parent side and the society around them. What do you think, in your experience, the influence of socio-economic factor, particularly the students level?
For I think students particularly experiencing a social economic factor, and the amount that I've come across is these people are at times the breadwinner earners also in their families, but their zeal to learn to be educated is also important. So I think as a mentor and a coach, the sometimes we just need to pick up that little motivation of them and take it as a pivoting change in them also. So say if a person is you will see these children working in the tea stall or a panwala shop, running out giving stuff, doing those small errands. But at the same point of time, you'll see them sitting with a book in a corner and studying when there is not rush. So probably if you find one or two of them in particularly that socioeconomic sector, I think it is just about pointing out their zeal and enhancing it to a different level and showing them that zeal can take them from, what not. So for them, it is important to come across that motivation, that inspiration, and that continuous encouragement. So as a role of a coach and a mentor, what is important is enhancing their strength and letting them know that these weaknesses could be converted into an opportunity or a strength for them. So for me, this is what has worked. I hope it works for you as well.
Okay, thanks. So it's more customized coaching is required.
Yes.
Looks like. Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate.
Anyone else has a question?
Can I ask one more?
Yeah, please go on.
Yeah. Rachna, so as a mother, I just wanted to know my role towards my kids. I know resilience is the life muscle that can be built and strengthened. And how can I do it as a mother? Like how to make them as a resilient leaders to adapt, how to respond effectively to the adversity.
I think, as a mother, we see, and I will answer as a mother also. I see my children failing every day, not becoming part or, dropping off an activity or not doing a subject or failing into a subject at certain point of time. So I've seen it all with them, fighting, telling us competition may that the ma'am is only going to choose the ones which are better or they have their also. So I have come across all of them with the stories of them. The only thing that I worked for me was to understand that their journey is their journey. We are just a support system to these people. If we become so involved in their journey, they will lose the fact of discovering resilience and mental balance for them. Yes, as a mother, my role is to be that strong rock to them so that they can falter, they can experience, and they can build their own knowledge. And for me, to sit and have that conversations with kids was when they failed, what they learned, what is it that they would do differently, and just talk things out with them, acknowledging every emotion that they face is giving them that space environment and safe environment to experience and build resilience. Every individual has their own journey. So we will have to give them that space. We'll have to give them that safe space to falter at any point of time. So as a mother, this has been working for me. And sometimes I fail, sometimes I succeed, and it's a journey that we make together.
Agree. Thank you.
Thank you. So any more questions?
Any questions? Any more questions, please? Vichu? Ramkumar sir?
My only thing is parents, as parents, we our it's, our love for children, we are able to, we always try to give them a good life, but actually it's very difficult as parents to teach them to have a great life, because to get into that, you have to do sacrifice, suffering. I mean, it's a journey, as you said. Each individual has to go through the journey, and we mollycoddle them, and I think that is a real failure of parents. I always used to think, many of us have role models in our life. Okay, I mean, people who have achieved greatness in their lifetime, but you will never tell I mean, I cannot think of anybody telling their child, you next 10 years you go live with this great person, like his Man Friday, and learn everything from him. You'll never do that. We'll again put them through college. I mean, the traditional method. Actually, it's much easier if they can live with such great people. I mean, I think is a shortcut for greatness. But as parents, we'll never do that. We will try to, with all our shortcomings, we will like to raise children ourselves, and we actually make them average. This is, yeah, really,
I can
our
that.
love for our child, we give good life, we give good lives to our children, but parents cannot make them into great people, because we our love stands in the way. This is my opinion, and I've seen time and again. I know people who even work for great people. You know, when I have had opportunity, uh, but to be close with great people, but you will never say, okay, you know, you go be with this great, I mean, associate with this great person, and you have a better chance of uh, you know, achieving greatness. I mean, parents rarely do it.
Yes, to parents to move ahead to that journey of their children becoming a great people is because when you learn to be attached in a detached form, when you don't attach yourself towards their growth and their failures to yourself, and start detaching your own personality. I still remember, so my adult daughter is an ADHD child, and I was very, very worried of the academic pressure that she's going to get and how she's going to treat it and everything. So every time, and I had recently thought of becoming a full-time, psychologist and starting to practice, and I started my own business. And I thought that today, if these girls don't perform, the onus is going to be that mother was absent. And yet, at that point of time, I was so scared that at certain point of time, I would do things for them instead of making them do things. So, and slowly and gradually, I realized that I am ruining the journey of my daughter just because I want to achieve my vested interest of being called as a good mother. So the moment I think I detached from that tag of being a good mother or a filial mother or a excellent mother, I think I let her thrive in that space and let her give that space to create mistakes. If that book has not gone to the school, it is not gone to the school. If the homework is not done, it is not done. Let them create these mistakes. If they've not taken a printout and if they're getting up in the morning and taking a printout from the computer, let them do it. They know it what is best for them. And it's worthless telling them you knew it, you could have done it yesterday. Somehow they're getting it done. So let them have these journey, experience it. And even for, children who are like 24, 25, and parents are not able to let go of them and worried, कि अभी तो masters हो गया है, and now they don't have a good career, they don't have a good job. I think it's point that you tell them that, okay, fine, this job is not coming to you, then probably look into yourself and see what you actually want to do about it. Become that coach. It's I think being a parent has become uh more like becoming a coach than just being a parent and hovering over them and doing things for them, giving them the resource and the availability. Instead of becoming a resource, become resourceable instead of becoming a resource to them. So I think that's a change that I did, and that I think is changing things for them as well. And I hope they become great people. So that's my answer to that, Mr. Vishwanathan. I don't know how right and wrong I am to this. That's what it is.
I'm generally saying
Mm.
it's a challenge for most parents because you
Yes.
unconditionally love to let go of children uh, and put them in charge of a mentor instead of parenting them. And unfortunately schools also, they are looking, they are more result oriented than shaping the children, because they are also under immense pressure to achieve success. So and it's just not working, at least in this day and age. Most schools are terribly inadequate in providing holistic growth to children. I mean, I'm saying it. I teach in a university, and most of my lectures are actually because today knowledge is available at the press of a button. I mean, the students know more than me most of the time.
Absolutely.
The only reason, I mean, I make best is to little bit mentor them. Teaching is no more. I mean, teaching is
Absolutely. I think with the information age, the style of teaching, the application of the knowledge has to come very much more differently than what it was been happening years again.
Yeah.
And it has to help them be more analytical and more thoughtful and more deep thinkers. Subject like philosophies will now become more important, and psychology will become more important than I think anything else becoming more important now, because the behaviors and the deep thinking of structure of language has to come in to people.
yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Yes, yes. Kingshuk, you have any question,
Okay.
Kingshuk, from your side?
No, very nice presentation, Rachna. And the best part I like about you is, you're saying this works for me. You decide what works for you. So you're not saying that this is an absolute truth. I think that's pretty profound for me. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
I liked your last point, what you made just now on the philosophy and other subjects would become. When I did my IIT Kharagpur, like I see Mr. Ganguly, IIT Bombay probably, yeah. So we used to have a subject called, I mean, way back I'm talking about, humanities. So we were wondering why, I mean, we had come for engineering and why the hell are we being taught this humanities and so on and so forth. Actually, there's a thing which IITs used to have that, but today they have a lot more the kind of humanities subjects are there. So just I think what you said, that being a complete human being, you need this part as well, a lot of soft skills and then, mindset. That's a very good point you made.
Thank you. Thank you. I think I will lead for book. I think there are 2 or 3 books that I have read on. I think Atomic Habits was one of the ones which was very important. Simon Sinek's, I think all the books by Simon Sinek's helps me build one by one. There was this book called Master Key System. It's a 21-week book, and it is to be read in that format only. And every day you probably need to read 1 or 2 questions out of that book and read, and I think it helps you to develop and understand yourself and much more better. And they have exercises every week. That book goes in this format only. So if you try to read that book very fast, you will not be able to go through it, and it will become too much to handle. But I think that's the Master Key System is one book which has been a very strong point in my life, and I keep going back to that book as well. So for me, mental resilience is a lot more about of that. If audio
And
available, yes, I
who's the
guess.
author, Rachna?
Master Key System. I just a second. It's Charles F. I'll just type the name.
Yeah. Thank you, Rachna.
So is that all?
Yeah, is it all? I think that's it. I think anyone else has a question? One last question we can take. Vishal, you're trying to say something? I think we're done. I think we're done, Rachna.
Right. So Gopi sir, if you've taken a photo or something, you please do send me. Otherwise, we can just take one if that's possible.
Yeah.
And I
I'll
can
ask
request people to come on videos if it's
video,
actually
right?
possible.
Participants, you may please click on the video, please.
Thank you, everyone.